So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here, and welcome back to Theory Thursday. So this one is unfortunately just going to feature myself because other Ryan is currently absent and couldn't actually record with us. However, the other two guys we usually do it with are still here. So who do I have with me?
Hey everyone, Razbowski here.
What's going on, guys? Dorko here.
So guys, we're going to be discussing the newest teaser, of course, on Scott Games. That is the BidyBab teaser image. Pretty freaky. So we're going to get straight into the first topic right now. So as always, guys, it's good to start with our thoughts on the newest Scott Games teaser, because at the end of the day, when we see these new characters on the screen of the website, we have no idea what they might be doing, and thoughts are the most powerful thing we can all do. So let's move around, and guys, what do you think this could even be? Or should I say, what do you think these could even be?
Well, immediately you look at them and there are just 7 creepy-ass babies on the screen. They're just staring down at you. One at the front looks like he may potentially have the control. His eyes are lit up. But speaking of lit up eyes, in the background, we also have somebody else who might be controlling him, who might not. We're going to discuss this a little bit later on. I think these are going to be the most terrifying. Children inherently... Children are scary! You know what I'm saying? Children, there's something about babies and something about dolls, like Chucky, or that kind of genre of horror. There's something really, really terrifying about them. And the fact that these are in pristine condition, just staring at you, imagine them crawling along the vents, scuttling about. If you lose track of one of them, are they all going to be lost? Or can you see 3 and 4 of them are somewhere else? I think they're going to be terrifying. I'm scared of them.
Good points there, Raz. There's also the quote from the trailer. Don't hold this against us. It's interesting how he's actually finally added like a quote from the trailer into this. He also did everyone please stay in your seats from FNAF World as well. Yeah, I find these really cool looking. They're all identical as well, and there's a really awesome theory that these are just like just made from the factory, and they're like duplicates, if that makes sense. So there's 7 of them, because just in case someone else wants that character at the scheduled parties and stuff, they have another one there, and they're all there at that factory, like being prepared to be made as well. So yeah, it's really awesome, and I'm excited to see what's left now. So we've got BidyBab,
Almost
Minarina.
the whole lot.
Yes.
So we haven't seen that one yet, which could actually... Well, no, actually, yeah. We haven't seen that. I was going to make a point, and then I realised, no, Ennard was the last one. So we haven't seen Minarina yet, which means we might potentially have one more teaser left, I guess, before... Maybe Scott starts teasing maybe the establishment, or someone like some of the jump scares or something messed up. But, like, initial thoughts on these guys. I mean, as the guys have said as well, that is indeed Baby in the back, and her face looks kind of... it's quite big, and one of the points I really picked up on almost instantly is the fact that she is the smallest animatronic out of all of the ones, in the establishment. And if her head is like the size of these guys, even though she's like further back, she's in like the background, these guys are in the foreground. I think these guys are literally going to be like maybe like 6 inches to a foot tall at max. And with 7 of these guys as well, like because they're so small, it just makes you think, what are they going to do? These guys could probably fit in ventilation systems and definitely get behind like electronics and probably muddle with those to make life a living hell in that aspect. I think that's what these guys will definitely serve in terms of their purpose, because 7 of these guys, like tiny things moving around, you will miss these in the camera. If like 7 of them are doing different things at the same time, it would be way too much.
I think, as you said, they look more mischievous than murderous. It's like, as you said, they can go about, they could disable your systems. Remember what Springtrap used to do, or at least the hallucinations and stuff. They used to mess about with your stuff in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, whether it was you could no longer use your cameras anymore, you could no longer do this and that. Maybe Scott's going to use a similar function for them in Sister Location, and the little babies are going to go around and mess with them. I don't really see them stabbing you or that to death. I think they're going to be a distraction.
Top notch. That's exactly.
They couldn't kill you. Look how small they are. Like they could bite your finger if that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I don't think we're going to get a jump scare of these added guys. I just think it's going to be like a balloon boy where like the fiddle with stuff, and then we get jump scared by one of the other animatronics.
Yes. Here's an idea I actually had, and I thought back to the trailer when we see it all happening. There's a sequence in the trailer where we see the office going crazy, like something's malfunctioned. And the first thing that sprung to mind was that we see all these dangling wires around the place. I mean, these guys, if they're set loose, and the 7 of them, they could all work together, probably destroy one of the wires that might be linking to the office. As everything's going crazy, it might let the animatronics possibly move forward. Something like that, get closer to kill you, and it might prove as like something where you can't avoid. I think think these guys will definitely be more of a nuisance than like a jump scare kind of character in the game.
Yep.
Definitely.
So as we've already discussed, there is Baby hiding in the background. Now she's just looming over these 7 babies as they are. But are they babies? Or potentially is she controlling them? What do you think, boys?
That's actually what you just said, babies. If you actually look at the poster in one of the offices, there's a picture of Baby, but there's like the BidyBab clinging to her leg or arm.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like these two are definitely together, and that's why Scott's put Baby in the background as well. I think he's done that to show that this is BidyBab and not the mini-arenas, because BidyBab sounds very similar to Baby.
As Dorko just said then, like, if Baby is kind of like yay big as well, and BidyBab, I've said before that BidyBab can almost come off as like Biddy is for small, and then Bab could be for baby, so smaller baby. So I think alone the fact that these guys are called BidyBab, and of course we have Baby, shows that Baby's importance keeps on building. And as Dorko said again, these guys kind of look like their factory knew they might be produced in mass. With the quote as well that says underneath, like, don't hold it against us. For all we know, it could be those guys projecting their thoughts to us, and it might be Baby directly manipulating these guys to go and cause havoc. Because one thing like we haven't seen in the FNAF games as of yet, and I thought would be a really nice touch, is that when you think about the characters, at least like in FNAF 1 to 4, they're all very linear, as in like if we see Foxy, we know the only thing Foxy's going to do is eventually run to the office. Imagine if Baby could like jump scare us in one breath, and maybe if we like push her back so many times, she might have like a secondary mechanic to go and then go to these guys, so we can't just always fixate on the same route for Baby to go along. She might have like a little side route and disappear, and then that's how these guys can come and wreak havoc for us.
They're definitely linked together in some sort of, I don't know if it's a maternal bond that Baby is linked with them, because as we were talking about, BidyBab is actually Baby did backwards, which I think people worked out a long time ago, because they're a lot cleverer than I with wordplay. Again, Scott putting Baby in the background here is very, very significant. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the storyline with these guys, because I mean, why are there 7 of them? Are there actually 7 of them, or 6 of them hallucinations, or one going to be active at any point in time? Because we've only really got one with glowing eyes at the front, but is that just because of the way the light's shining on them, or is it something else, like 1 is active night 1, 2 are active night 2, etc, as you move on? Because I mean, there's usually 7 nights in Five Nights at Freddy's, so maybe 1 as they go on. Sticking to the point of significance with Baby and them, the fact that Baby is with them in the poster shows that they have, the relationship is obviously pretty strong, and it kind of backs up again what we were saying, that these guys are probably going to be more of a nuisance than anything else. With the BidyBab is clinging to Baby, as Baby's powering forwards. If we keep Baby in check, does it mean we keep these guys in check at all? Or do we annoy Baby by doing something, and then she loses distraction of them, so she controls them until we annoy her, and then she comes for us, and that lets them wreak havoc? Like a parent is looking after her children until something happens, she loses focus on them, and then they run riot. It's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be very, very important to the storyline, to be honest, how these have a focus, or what their significance is. It's
kind of like the Freddles in FNAF 4. We don't get a Freddle jump scare. When all the Freddles come, that's when we get the Freddy jump scare. But I think Scott's used that idea of the Freddles manipulating for Freddy to come out, but in a bigger perspective now, where they're actually going to move around and stuff. But the problem is, if all these 7 BidyBabs, as well as all the other animatronics as well, it seems a bit too much to me. So what Ryan said, it's either that they're going to be all in a group together and not separate around and do different things, because that would be a lot to do for us. Or they're just going to remain in a group while we see them in the cameras, if we do have cameras, in groups together. There could be hallucinations, like Raz said. In FNAF 3, a good point is that you see Springtrap in one camera, but then you look to the left and he's at your office. You know, the Springtrap was an hallucination, so maybe Scott could do that, where there's loads of BidyBabs around, but only one of them is the true one.
But the one with the glowing eyes, I suppose. That could be the hint there. Has he got glowing eyes? Well, he's not the real one. Move on.
That's a good point.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So
the other way I saw that these guys could fit in as well is maybe they could, like, because as we've said, when we keep going on about it, it would be overpowered if all of these guys could do their own separate things. They may do something like, another form of distraction could be like, there might be 7 cameras, so they might slightly obstruct the camera, maybe block a doorway, so we can't, like, maybe if we spin to the side of the this whole mechanical thing, because everything looks so sophisticated and all the technology. We might be able to repel them away by like producing some kind of gas or air which might push them off the cameras or something. Definitely though, we all seem to be fixated on the idea that these are going to be a nuisance over like genuinely trying to these guys primarily being the killers of us, shall we say, so they might not have a jump scare. So something interesting I actually thought about midway through this is how Baby is definitely in the background, and then we see these BidyBabs in front. Now I was just looking at the structure of these guys, and they do have like a sort of lilac-y pink purple eye, meaning these might also all be like female characters. Do you think Baby, because she's like the main protagonist, do you think she might be acting as like the mother to these smaller childs? Because that's why we're seeing like overseeing them, almost making sure they're all safe, or almost she might, as we've said again, tell them what to do throughout the various nights.
The way she's looming over them is in some sort of controlling or dominating phase, whether she's the mother watching over her children, or she's some kind of puppet master, sort of controlling them to do her bidding. BidyBab. But you know what what I'm saying. It is interesting. I think she is gonna have a degree of control over them, whatever it is. Just the angle she's looking at them. I don't think they're gonna go on their own without her maybe saying something. Go sick 'em, boys.
Didn't we have a really good idea before FNAF 4 came out, that when we didn't even know that we was in a bedroom, we said that Nightmare Freddy would walk around with the Freddles inside him, but one of them would go missing.
Yes.
And he'd have to look for it. What if BidyBab is still, like in the poster, clinging to Baby's leg or something while she's walking around, and then it disappears? We're like, oh, where's it gone? And you have to find it. Or something like that.
Okay. Well, that would be really interesting. So you mean like it's almost like a direct link with the poster, so it has more meaning rather than it just being like a random thing? Because like these two things are totally separate animatronics, so there might be a form of like interaction, almost like these smaller guys might add on to Baby to give her new abilities or something like that.
It's like her mechanic. As we know, Freddy in FNAF 1, he was the last to come off the stage. Maybe it's the same with Baby. The only time she leaves the stage is because she's lost all of her BidyBabs and has to go and find them. She maybe thinks that you've stolen them. Don't hold it against us. I'm like for real, if you're gonna steal my children, I'm gonna murder you, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what the mechanic is. If you can somehow keep them there with her, then you keep her subdued. But obviously, the more you lose around the place, they're going to cause distractions, which means their little friends are going to leave as well until there's none left, and then she'll come for you. Keep them in the same place with her, and you keep her subdued.
Last thing as well, I'm just going to say quickly, which doesn't really have any meaning towards an idea behind these guys, but in the source code where it kind of breaks it down into like novelties and accessories, I think these guys might be referenced in that. Like these guys might be the novelties and accessories that are spoken about, because, you know, if Baby had an accessory, aka one of these guys, then that would make more sense.
Could
be. And in the service thing, like in the bookings, you don't class these guys as any of them, do you? You don't see BidyBab.
Yeah, they're not referenced, no.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's like, maybe Scott's already hinted about these guys being in there, and we actually have two different layers. There's one that says, like, novelties, and the other says accessories, so for all we know, there might be another one of these sort of things to come. So I guess all we got to do is wait and see.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So there we go, guys. That was another Theory Thursday discussion. Some really, really great discussions as well for this week. And believe it or not, guys, there is so much more to still talk about, and we'll save that all for next week, because Scott seems to be doing a teaser every 2 to 3 weeks, so it'll give us more to discuss for next week. So, guys, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop us that like rating, and also check out the other guys for their perspectives and thoughts on the other theories on their videos in the past as well. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We all, of course, hope you did enjoy, and we will, of course, all see you on the next one. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?